Imagine seamlessly securing thousands of corporate devices and deploying necessary software globally, all managed from a single screen. Today, we are walking through a fully functional, browser-based Microsoft Intune simulation to do exactly that. You don't need an active Azure tenant, you don't need administrative credentials, and you don't need a budget to follow along. Completing these 14 specific tasks demonstrates how to configure the core components of a modern, zero-trust environment. Let's get started. Look at this Intune dashboard sidebar. Our first phase is silently pushing productivity software out to the fleet, so we begin by clicking the Add button under the Apps menu. We navigate through the application catalog and select Microsoft Teams as our target. A common operational failure here is pushing software to the wrong target group. To avoid this, we ensure the assignment is explicitly set to all Intune devices. Notice the Required tag highlighted in this Assignments dropdown. This intent setting forces the installation on the endpoint, rather than leaving it as an optional download for the user. Now that the software is actively deploying, we move to our next administrative milestone, establishing a security baseline for all physical hardware. We enforce this by creating a new compliance policy, configuring the platform parameters specifically for Windows 10 and later operating systems. Within the system security settings, we locate the control for BitLocker drive encryption and mandate it across the board. The immediate mechanical consequence is absolute. If the Intune scanner detects a machine without full disk encryption, it stamps that device as non-compliant. With those tasks finished, both baseline productivity tools and fundamental data at rest protection are now standardized across the fleet. But a non-compliant flag does not secure the network on its own. We have to bridge the gap between that compliance status and actual corporate network access. We do that here in the Conditional Access interface. We configure a new policy targeting all users across all cloud applications, and under the grant controls, we select Require Device to be marked as compliant. The underlying logic is simple. If a device fails the compliance check, it hits a physical wall and is segregated from company data. However, look at the bottom of the screen. A dangerous failure point is leaving this new policy in audit or report-only mode. We must toggle the switch to on to actively enforce the blockade. The corporate perimeter is now protected by automated zero-trust enforcement. Next, we need to extend our protection beyond baseline encryption into active OS-level threat defense. We achieve this by deploying a Windows Settings Catalog profile designed specifically to enforce Defender Cloud protection globally. Then we address the highest risk endpoint category, mobile devices. App protection policies divide the smartphone into two distinct zones, managed corporate and unmanaged personal. We containerize data by blocking clipboard sharing. If a user copies text from Teams to a personal app, the system intercepts and blocks the data packet. This dual-layered approach guarantees corporate data sovereignty, regardless of who actually owns the physical hardware. We have authored the policies, and now we move to our final testing phase. Here in the Intune directory, we target a specific endpoint named blockshell.laptop to verify our work. Instead of waiting for the standard check-in schedule, we execute a manual sync to bypass the timer and force the device to pull the new policies immediately. This is where many administrators encounter anxiety due to propagation delay. The communication handshake takes time, so you have to be patient as the system processes the request. Once the sync finishes, the status panel updates to reflect the new state. The green compliant badge appears, and Teams is marked as installed. Zooming out to the main dashboard, you can see all 14 tasks are successfully completed, and our compliance metrics are entirely green. You have now configured 4 specific layers of security: silent app deployment, mandatory encryption, zero-trust access control, and mobile data containerization. Managing these disparate security configurations from a single console allows you to maintain enterprise-grade standards with high efficiency. The exact simulation used in this walkthrough is linked in the description below. Open it up and execute this administrative blueprint yourself.